Good evening, and welcome to this first of a series of election forums produced by the Long Beach Community Action Partnership with Padnet.tv, your community media center and Long Beach's public access television station. I'm Matt Kaplan, and it's my honor to serve as the moderator for this mayoral candidate forum. We are broadcasting live on Charter Channel 32 and Verizon Channel 41 in Long Beach and beyond. We're also streaming live at Padnet.tv. All of our forums will be available as video on demand as well, and additional cablecast times on the channel you may be watching right now are listed on the elections page at Padnet.tv. An invitation was extended to all of the mayoral candidates who had declared by the end of November of 2013. We are very happy to welcome 7 of them here tonight. Now, we hope to host all of the candidates on April 2nd for our second and final mayoral forum. So, 7 candidates, 1 hour. You do the math. What we offer tonight is really just the briefest of opportunities to get acquainted with these men and women. We hope the coming hour will intrigue you and excite you and provide the incentive to learn more. Most of all, we hope that you'll make democracy work by voting on April 8th. The candidates will be introducing themselves in a moment. First, though, we welcome 3 distinguished panelists, each of whom will have time to ask 1 question this evening. Each candidate will then have 1 minute to respond to that question. 1 minute, no more. The panelists are Sarah Bennett, Executive Editor of the Long Beach Post; Jim Kruger, past President of Leadership Long Beach; and Harry Saltzgaver, Executive Editor for Gazette Newspapers. And now we will turn to the candidates for their 1-minute opening statements, beginning with Richard Camp.
Hi there, my name is Richard Camp. I am a resident. I have been a resident of Long Beach for 20 years. I've been a tradesman, a craftsman, and a small business owner. I'm a very proud resident of Long Beach. I consider it a beacon of the West Coast, and I think it's got a proud and hopeful future. I'm grateful to participate in the election, and I'm grateful to participate in my part of the American dream. I thank all of the candidates for their attendance, and I thank all of the sponsors for their participation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Richard.
My remarks.
Thank you very much. We'll next hear from Damon Dunn.
My name is Damon Dunn. I've had the privilege of going to some of the best schools in the world, Stanford University. I've had the privilege of owning a business where we took $1 million investment and grew it to $160 million worth of deals. I've had the opportunity to play in the NFL, professional football, and I think what's important is I've learned lessons across all these diverse experiences that I think have prepared me to be the next mayor of Long Beach. And as I look at the landscape, I think that the central premise of this election is which candidate can position Long Beach to take advantage of sustained growth. We're coming out of a period of fiscal crisis management, and now we need to figure out how can we have sustained growth. And I've had the privilege of working in a business where we have worked with cities and city planning staffs, and we've worked with transportation departments and environmental remediation programs in order to deliver projects that have increased cities' resource base and have added sustainable and long-term revenues. And I look forward to having a chance of having a discussion tonight with my fellow candidates. Thank you.
Thank you, Damon. And the third of our candidates to have an opening statement this evening is Robert Garcia.
Thank you, and I also want to first start off by thanking all the sponsors, particularly Leadership Long Beach, which I'm an alum of and is really one of our great Long Beach organizations. I'm running for mayor because I love Long Beach. This is a great city. It's the only downtown by the water between San Diego and San Francisco, one of the best urban school districts in the country. We have an incredible university at Cal State Long Beach and the economic engine of America right here in our port. Long Beach is a great place. We've done great work. Over the last few years, Long Beach has gone from pension spiking to pension reform, from budget deficits to budget surpluses, and currently experiencing one of the lowest crime rates in the history of our city. This is an incredible place, a lot of potential, but I still believe we can do a lot better. My name is Robert Garcia. I'm running for mayor, and I'm asking for your support.
Thank you, Robert. Bonnie Lowenthal.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Bonnie Lowenthal, and I'm asking for your support for mayor. I've lived in Long Beach for over 40 years, raised my kids here, started out as a grassroots activist working in the schools, and ultimately was elected to the school board where our school district became the best urban district in the nation. From there, I went to the city council. We put more police and fire on the streets. We lowered the crime rate. But then when I went to the assembly, we all know at that time there was a real economic crisis, both nationally and in our city. So I've worked to bring funding back for schools, for firefighters, and infrastructure. I will continue to do that. As your next mayor, I ask for your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Bonnie. We'll next hear from Stephen Mosina.
Hello, my name is Steve Mosina, and I'm a candidate for mayor of Long Beach. I want to share something personal with you. My mother just passed away last night. Very sad, but I want you to know that she actually came over to the land of opportunity on the Queen Mary in 1945. And I want to tell you, I not only care for my mother, my family, my wife and my daughter, but I care about you. I know that I'm a better candidate than anyone here. I can teach you all to have better lives. We all want to be loved, we want to all love, and we want to contribute. I will show you how to get jobs. I'm an entrepreneur for years and years. I can create a medical corridor that will be amazing for people. I know 3 manufacturers for every medical supply and equipment made. In addition to that, I will help the kids. What Bob Foster has done with the ACE program, I can do with K through 12 with the Junior Achievement Program and teach our kids about leadership and how to run businesses. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. I'm sure I speak for everyone here when we want to extend our condolences. Doug Otto.
Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you. I'm Doug Otto. I'm running for mayor of Long Beach. There are 3 things that are critical to the future of any city: commerce, culture, community, and I would add a 4th, consensus. Commerce means making Long Beach the most business-friendly city in California, a city that welcomes innovation and entrepreneurs with small, medium, and large firms growing and prospering. More commerce means more jobs. Culture means making Long Beach a thriving environment for the creative class, a location that is a magnet for artists, design firms, and innovation-driven technology. Successful cities are driven by commerce and culture, not by city halls. Community means making Long Beach a safe place where singles and families, millennials and boomers all can live together. Consensus means working together. That's what I would bring you if you elect me mayor of Long Beach.
And thank you, Doug. Finally, we will hear from Jonna Shields.
Hi, I'm Jonna Shields, and pension reform is the core issue of my platform. The City Council continues to practice deficit spending by not setting aside money for promised pensions, and the cost of pension continues to escalate faster than economic growth. To date, the pension liabilities are over $1 billion. And every budget cycle, the bill comes due and there's a deficit which comes out of the general fund instead of being spent for city services. This being an election year, the current budget actually balanced due to the demise of redevelopment into oil money. But in 2015, Sacramento will take a bigger bite out of city money to fund their $500 billion deficit for pensions. It's time for Long Beach to insist on real pension reform that closes loopholes that allow some city employees to retire at unfairly generous pensions.
Thank you, Jonna. Thank you, one and all. That was remarkable. We did very well getting through that in a minute or not much more. We'll see if we can keep that up for the remainder of the evening. And we are going to go to the first of our panelists with a question for you. And we'll be starting right here next to me with Richard. Let's go to Sarah Bennett of the LB Post. Sarah?
Thank you. So live music has proven to be a very viable economic engine for cities like Austin, Texas. And the city of Long Beach has a wealth of talent, but the current policies regarding entertainment are seen by some as being too restrictive or too broad. Do you have any plans to incorporate policies that can encourage art while generating revenue into your agenda as mayor?
I think we need to encourage the entrepreneurial spirit in the entire music production industry. We have a wealth of native talent here in Long Beach, and film as well. If we could encourage development of original production, with some long-term commitments of investments that the participants felt some confidence in. Perhaps we could develop our own original and organic music production. We have some legendary local talent, the Sublime, Snoop, the list goes on and on. I think they would be probably excited to get involved. We had a budding music culture in the 90s. We had a lot of local talent that was making news, and it kind of faded away. I don't know if it was changing music styles or broadcasting. We need to encourage it.
Richard, I'll have to stop you there, I'm afraid.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Damon?
I think what we need is a proof of concept that shows that that art can produce economic development. And I think if you look at most thriving urban cities, the arts play a significant part of selling those cities, but also as an economic engine. And I think what I would love to see is having a arts festival each year for a week, and we can bring in some of the best exhibits into our Museum of Latin American Art, some of the best exhibits into our downtown museum, to our contemporary museum at Cal State University Long Beach. I love to be able to see off-Broadway shows come in into our ICT theater. And I think what we can do then is we can show that arts can be an economic driver. And if we can show that proof of concept, then we may be able to grow that into something larger down the road. But we can put people into restaurants. We can put people on the streets and shopping at our different vendors. But we need to work together to be able to do that, to sell our diversity, and to leverage the arts venues that we have.
Thank you very much, Damon Dunn. Robert Garcia.
All great American cities have incredible art scenes. I think it's one thing that Long Beach also has and is growing. And in fact, I would argue that arts and culture continues to grow in Long Beach. We have a growing music scene. There's incredible growth in live theater and other things that are happening. One thing that we shouldn't forget is that Cal State Long Beach actually graduates more artists than almost any place west of the Mississippi. This is an incredible amount of talent of students, graduate students, sculptors, theaters, musicians. And we've got to figure out a way of ensuring that when they graduate, that they're doing their art in Long Beach, that there's studios in downtown, there's studios across the city, that we're opening up and encouraging creative space. Long Beach has got to do also look at our regulations to ensure that we are ensuring that things like street performers, studio space is activated. I think of doing some of that. There's a lot more work to do, but certainly the arts is an important part of our community, and we'll continue to work on it.
Thank you very much, Robert Garcia. Bonnie Lowenthal.
Thank you. There's no doubt that arts is linked to economic development. Here in Long Beach, for many years, we've tried in the East Village to develop an arts complex that would attract tourism, and we've struggled to do that. When I'm mayor, I intend to build that arts exchange that's been on the books for so long, and it hasn't been realized. I think the question is a good one, Sarah. There are a lot of ordinances that we need to check, ordinances that said if there are any more than 3 musicians in a club, you have to go and get a rather expensive license. We don't need to do that. We do want to encourage the arts. Personally, I sit on the board of the International City Theater. It's a well-known residential group. Long Beach used to have an arts festival every fall. We need to bring that back. It's terribly important for our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Bonnie Lowenthal. Steve Mozina.
I am an artist. In fact, I carry a Screen Actors Guild card for now over 20 years. I'm like you that are the artist. I know what we need. I've participated in it. In Portland, Oregon, we have what's called the Portland Saturday Market. It's a craft fair. It's an art fair. It's a beautiful thing to have on a weekly basis. In fact, I lived in Venice Beach for 6 years, and of course that is basically fosters all types of artists. I can bring all of that to here. The Smithsonian, for example, there's another thing that we can do. It has a ton of stuff in storage, and we can bring all that to our community. If you're an artist and you think like I do, you know that Long Beach has a lot of opportunity and we can have a lot of art here.
Thank you, Steve Mazzino. Doug Otto.
I think we need to grow the creative economy here in Long Beach. Long Beach has a long, proud tradition of supporting the arts. I was president of the Arts Council just a few years ago here in Long Beach. And yet Long Beach is not an art viewing city. It's a city where art goes on all around us, in the neighborhoods, downtown, really throughout town. While we do have some excellent museums, The art that goes on is the art that people produce here. And that kind of art is what companies are looking for, workforce companies that want to come to locations where their employees can thrive in a prosperous city that has entertainment outlets like the arts that they can participate in. And Long Beach has that, and it needs to be encouraged.
Thank you, Doug Otto. Jonna Shields.
I live in the historic Wilmore City part of town, the first historic district in all of LA County. And we have 17 historic districts throughout Long Beach. These are becoming go-to places. As these beautiful homes and neighborhoods are restored, they attract the filming industry. There are a number of homes that I know of that have been used in major films. So one of the ways we can develop the film industry is to bring more attention to our historic districts.
Excellent. Thank you again, candidates. We're going to go to our second question now, and for that we're going to look to Jim Kruger of Leadership Long Beach, who has come up with a very dynamic format for this. Candidates, we gave you those cards that Jim provided earlier. You might want to grab those. And just to mix things up, Robert Garcia, I'd like you to be answering first, but first let's get that question from Jim.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here tonight. Leadership is music to our ears, so we're going to have a chance to listen to you sing a bit about your skill sets in that area. 2014 is a significant year. For Leadership Long Beach, we are celebrating our 25th anniversary of programs and services focused on a positive Long Beach of engaged and dedicated community leaders. For our city, Long Beach is poised for one of the most significant shifts in leadership in recent history, making the question of leadership even more vital. Each of you have been provided the sheet that was mentioned. The question is, please pick one principle, describe how that principle has been integral to your leadership to date, and how it will manifest in your role as mayor.
Robert Garcia.
Thank you. Well, first of all, I think all of the terms are great, and I think the one that stands out to me the most is teamwork. I think that teamwork is especially important for anyone that wants to be mayor of Long Beach. I think there are great examples. At the end of the day, as mayor, your job is to build consensus. It's to work with your colleagues on the city council. It's to have great relationships with state officials, with federal government officials, and to make sure that you are really creating a team, not just at the city, of city employees and management, but also making sure that we are having a team beyond that, a team of corporate leaders, of community leaders, teams of people throughout the community. And so all of that is really important. For me personally, I believe you always got to work and build consensus. You've got to work with people. You've got to be positive. And I think I've got a record of that on the city council.
Thank you, Robert Garcia. Bonnie Lowenthal.
Thank you. I, too, was going to be choosing teamwork. There's no doubt in my political career that everything I've done has to do with getting along with people, finding consensus, collaboration, and working hard with give and take. You know, in the political world, it's not just one person's idea. It's everyone's ideas. And as mayor, I would expect the team will include the community. As mayor, at the beginning of my mayorship, I will be developing a strategic plan with the entire community, with community task forces. So that's a team that will include the entire community, and I look forward to doing that. Thank you.
Thank you, Bonnie Lowenthal. Steve Mozina.
Vision. If you aim at nothing, you're bound to hit it. We need vision. We need to see what's in the future for Long Beach, and I can see that in many ways. One of the things I've been trying for the last 15 years to do is to get the government to post all the finances to the web like an online checking account, because we need to hold our cities, our states, and our federal government accountable to us. There are many of these words that should be addressed to all the politicians that currently run our country, and they're not. They should be. And I will be a politician that will have an open door and open book. And I believe that's the most important, having the vision. The second thing is I'm working for your kids. I want to instill into that 21st century education, 22nd century education, where the kids are learning about gaming technology as well as learning by gaming. I know about technology. I created the first electronic textbook company with etext.net back in 1994. I can help you.
Thank you very much, Steve Mozina. Doug Otto.
Thanks. Well, it's kind of not fair that the teamwork and vision got used up so early in this thing. I wish I
There's
would.
plenty to go around.
I think teamwork is very, very important too. I have a long track record of bringing people together and accomplishing things in this community. And I also think vision is very, very important. But I'm going to focus, because it's still available, on accountability. I think people in Long Beach now want their leaders to be held accountable. That means that you have to set forth very straightforward goals, tell people what you're going to do, then go out and do that. And if you don't achieve those results, then you have to say why. And sometimes it's because more urgent things came up, but it's very important for leaders to be accountable.
Thank you, Doug Otto. Jonna Shields.
I'm a person of integrity, and I believe that any person in government needs to be a person of integrity. This also goes hand in hand with accountability, because it's hard to have integrity if there are not standards of accountability. So I put these two together. But integrity is doing what's right when nobody's looking and nobody is there looking over your shoulder. And I am a person of integrity.
Thank you, Jonna. We'll move back down to this end of the row first now and go to Richard Camp. Oh, as soon as the microphone comes back.
All right. Well, I think I'll choose commitment, since that's usually the scariest of the selection. And I'll double that down with a commitment to commitments. I think one of the most pressing issues is pension reform. And I think what we have here are commitments that were made that are now being broken, blamed on folks in between. And I think we should reassess that view and take a serious look at the promises that we make before we make them, and then not declare an emergency when the folks that were charged with the responsibility of fulfilling those promises haven't.
Thank you, Richard Camp. And the last person we'll hear from in this round is Damon Dunn.
I think the most important principle out of the ones that I read is vision. When I look back over my life story, and sitting here today, it's unlikely. You know, I grew up, my mom had me at 16. My father was killed when I was 3. I lost 3 friends to murder when I was 15, watched 2 of my friends get murdered at a birthday party and bled out before a paramedic could actually show up. And so to think that I could go to a Stanford University or run a multi-million-dollar company or play in the NFL or even retire at age 32, that's so unlikely. But you have to resist the urge to believe what everyone else around you believes based upon the current circumstances, that your current disposition doesn't have to determine your ultimate destination. You have to see beyond what is probable. You have to see beyond what is plausible, and eventually you have to see what is possible. And I think that the city of Long Beach, if all of us would be honest, from the doors that I've walked, people have felt that we've been left behind, that we have underachieved, that we have not reached our maximum potential. And I think we're going to need visionary leadership from either one of us and as mayor, as our next mayor.
Thank you, Damon Dunn. Thank you, everyone. Another terrific job of staying within our 1-minute limit. I hope this has good things to say about the economic future for the city of Long Beach, one way or another. We are going to take a quick break now and then return for more from these candidates for mayor of Long Beach. This is a Long Beach Community Action Partnership Election Forum coming to you live on padnet.tv. Please stay with us.
At the Long Beach Community Action Partnership, we're very proud of the millions of dollars that we provide in utility assistance services. And we're also proud of the thousands of people that we assist, including youth, adults, and seniors. But what we're most proud of are the relationships that we build one-on-one with people just like you to build a stronger community. Join us in changing lives and making a difference.
It's very pet friendly. Everybody has a dog in Long Beach. It's Dog City.
Well, there's everything to do here. You got the Pike, you got Queen Mary, you got the beaches, you got paddle boarding, surfing. You go half a mile that way, you got surfing, you got downtown.
I just think it's the most incredible, most beautiful, most unique city, which has so much to offer. So I love it here and I'll never leave.
Welcome back to the Long Beach Community Action Partnership and PadNet Mayoral Candidate Forum. We're live on Charter Channel 32 and Verizon Fios Channel 41 in Long Beach. We're also streaming live at padnet.tv. This is just the first of these forums that will focus on each of the city council races in Long Beach, as well as the race for mayor. All will be available as video on demand events at padnet.tv. And you can find them on the elections page there. They'll also be replayed on Charter and on Verizon several times before the April 8th election. You can find the videos and the replay dates, as I said, at padnet.tv, and hopefully you'll go there and learn a little bit more about the PadNet operation that is serving the community of Long Beach so well this evening. So candidates, it's my turn now to throw a question your way, and this one is on behalf of the Long Beach Community Action Partnership, or LBCAP. You'll again have just 1 minute to respond. I'm sure you'll continue to do incredibly well with that. I believe you all know that LBCAP works primarily with the underserved. Now, what is your vision for working with all the sectors of our very diverse city, and especially the individuals and families that are disadvantaged? And we'll begin with a 1 minute response from Steve Mozina.
Thank you, Matt. I like to be first because I like to be first for you. I'm bold. And let me just tell you a couple of anecdotal things about how I help individuals. Let's take, for example, there's a gal that I know that's in New York, and I've been helping her for the past 3 years. She lost her job. She became homeless. I helped her get her unemployment. I helped buy her food. I helped her get into a governmental program where she was actually able to go through a dental program, and she became a dental assistant. But she still has no job. But I keep working with her, trying to give her all the confidence in order to get back into the working world. More on that story later. There's another gentleman that I've known for almost 20 years. He was a crack addict. I met him in Venice Beach. I said, he's better than this.
And Steve, I'm afraid I'll have to stop you there. We are at the end of the minute, but thank you very much. Doug Otto.
Thanks. The demographics of Long Beach show its destiny. By 2025, we will be a city that is 70% or more Hispanic. We still have high levels of poverty and even higher levels of poverty in our school-age children. And I think that the mayor's office is uniquely positioned to do something about those things. It is because of the fact that instead of each of the council members who are caught up in the delivery of constituent services, the mayor's office can bring the people at Long Beach, who are not at the table, to the table. And do that by designing programs to empower those people and bring those people into the fabric of what's going on in Long Beach. It's clear that unless the people of Long Beach are all involved, we won't be successful. And I think that it's the mayor's job to reach out and make that happen.
Thank you, Doug Otto. Jonna Shields.
I work on a daily basis with the working poor of our city, which comprise 20% of our city. I live in a challenging neighborhood and work with people that given a hand up, they go to school, they don't get pregnant, they stay out of drugs, and become citizens that contribute to our society. Because I understand the working poor of our city and come from a middle class, I can integrate those two and bring health to those that are lower income. I believe that we need to enable them, help them to start businesses, and to be able to fulfill their dreams, whatever those are.
Thank you, Jonna Shields. And we're going to do a little fire brigade here and get the microphone back down to this end so that we can hear Richard Camp's response to this question. Richard?
I think one of the most effective ways that we can help folks that are in lower income stratas is to encourage more trade schools, try to attract more industries that create entry-level jobs that are conducive with the trade schools. In Pennsylvania, where I attended high school, I had several semesters of different trades: computer-aided drafting and design, welding, carpentry. All these skills have helped me over the years. Whether the economy was up or down, there was always one or another that I could depend on. I chose detailing because it was the easiest. No overhead, no employees, and I had at one time, economic security of a large group of clientele. But again, now that is an uncertainty. So the best way we can help everyone is to cross the divide between...
Richard, I'm sorry, I'll have to stop you there, just to be fair. We'll hear next Richard Camp. Thank you very much. Damon Dunn.
I've had the privilege of working with Long Beach CAP, working with the Men Making a Change program, helping young African-American males who are homeless have housing and then find employment, and having them stand on their own too. And I think what's important is that, I can not only sympathize, I can empathize. I've lived that. I've been in an environment where we ate mayonnaise sandwiches 3-4 days a week, where we didn't have hot water. We had to boil water on the stove and pour it into the bathtub, and each take turns taking baths after that. 10 of us living in a 3-bedroom trailer. Not to give you a sob story, but what I've learned in my experiences is that people don't care what you know until they know that you care. And so you can have all the bright ideas, and you can have great plans for mayor, but until people know that you care about them, they're not open to your ideas. We have to learn to empathize if you lived in those experiences. And I think as mayor, my motto will be that everyone's at the table and everything's on the table. Everybody at the table and everything on the table. We're no longer going to be a city of two different tales. We're going to make sure that everybody's at the table and everything is on the table.
Thank you, Damon Dunn. Robert Garcia.
Thank you. I came to the U.S. when I was 5 years old as an immigrant. Like Damon, I grew up very poor, large family and small apartments bouncing around. So I understand that experience. At the end of the day, it's important for us to remember that in Long Beach, 20% of our neighbors, of our population, are living in poverty. And these are people that are making choices between health care and food, school supplies, and we've got to do something and more than we're already doing to help. We've got to be talking about living wages. We've got to be talking about access to health care. We've got to be ensuring that students have an opportunity to make choices, whether it's college or the trades. We've got to do a better job of working as a city with our community college. There's a lot more that we can do to help out these communities. We have high concentration of low-income folks, particularly in central Long Beach, in North, and some of the communities around downtown. And I think we're all up here interested in solving that challenge here in Long Beach.
Thank you, Robert Garcia. And batting last in the lineup in this round, Bonnie Lowenthal.
Thank you. I think it's a critical question that you asked. 70% of the kids in Long Beach Unified School District are eligible for free and reduced lunch. Gives you a sense of what families need. I've spent a lifetime literally working with underserved communities in Long Beach, the LULAC, the Cambodian community, United Cambodian community, the Centro de la Raza, and trying to bring people in so that they could participate in government, they could participate in creating an environment that's healthier for them. We need to do a better job with outreach. On the city council, I created many more parks. I created an opportunity for people to come in and control their destiny. That's what I'll do as mayor. Thank you.
And thank you, Bonnie Lowenthal. Please do pass that all the way down to the left there to Jonna Shields, because she will be tackling this next and final question that will be coming from Harry Saltzgaver of the Gazette newspapers. Harry.
Thank you, Matt. First of all, I'd like to thank all of you for your willingness to serve. It takes people like you to make democracy work, and I appreciate your efforts. I'm here to get into the weeds a little bit. In the last 5 years, we've suffered through economic hard times, and the way that we've managed to do it is through something called proportional cuts. That means that the police and fire departments in the city have been reduced at the same proportion as they spend their money from the general fund. That was done to keep libraries and parks and such alive during the tough times. Fortunately, we're back in better times now. I'd like to know if you are interested in a proportional restoration in that. Are you going to restore parks, recreation, libraries to the same proportion that you're going to restore fire and police? Or are you going to concentrate on fire and police? Thank you.
Thank you, Harry. Jonna Shields, as I said, we'll begin with you.
Yes, I live in a neighborhood where the density is 8,000 people per square half mile. We very much need the parks, we need the libraries, we need the services, and these are people that need them seriously. So I am definitely interested in restoring proportionally or more so to develop. There is redevelopment land out there that needs to be developed, that will soon be a fire sale, and some of that land could very easily be put into park. They're connecting the Drake Park and Chavez Park to make a very, very nice park. This type of thing, plus programs, plus people that are using it, is vital to areas that are highly impacted in order to have healthy living.
Thank you very much, Jonna Shields. We're going to run that microphone all the way back here once again to get our second response in this round from Richard Camp.
Proportional, I think, is relative to the quality of law and order and the peace and security of the residents. We have a number of beautiful parks, but there aren't going to be too many folks enjoying them if they're full of criminals. And we need to take that into consideration before we sort of skew our priorities. We can't have prosperity and harmony and peace if we don't have law and order first. So I think establishing that primarily and then moving on to flourishing would probably benefit everyone all over town.
Thank you, Richard Camp. We'll next hear from Damon Dunn.
I'm actually not a fan of proportional cuts. I think that when you proportionally cut a budget that does not take into account productivity or viability, if there are some areas in the budget that and some programs and or staff that are not performing, and there are staff or programs that are performing, you have to be able to weigh those things and not just cut things blindly without respect or regard to productivity. And in the same note, Harry, I would say we have to prioritize the things as we come back, as the economy returns, and as we prioritize those things, we have to make sure that we're investing in the things that are important and that we've prioritized as a community. And I think that without public safety, and I'm not catering to public safety, but without public safety, nothing else really matters. If we don't have national security, then nothing matters in this country. If we don't have safety here, then it doesn't matter how good our schools are or how good our parks are if the kids can't go there and we can't keep the gangs out, et cetera. But yes, we should invest in parks. We should invest in public safety. We should do those things not proportionally, but we should do them based upon priority.
Thank you, Damon Dunn. Robert Garcia.
Thank you. You know, as vice mayor and serving on the city council, we've worked very hard to get the budget under control, and I think you're seeing some of the results of that. There are good times coming over the next few years, but we have to be serious about the money and still be responsible. As to the question, I think that as our economy is growing, we've got to grow the whole city. Public safety, by the way, is not just the job of our police and firefighters. It certainly is their priority, but the great work that our park workers do, our librarians, are also adding to the incredible, I think they're part of our public safety team. They're the reason why crime is continually decreasing, because we're all working together to solve the challenges. And so as our economy increases, as we're seeing better budgets, I believe that we've got to look at the entire city and hopefully grow in every sector, not just police, not just fire. We've got to make sure our libraries are open more often. We've got to ensure that we're increasing park space, and we've got to make sure that we're investing in infrastructure, because quite frankly, a clean street is usually a safe street.
Thank you, Robert Garcia. Bonnie Lowenthal.
Thank you. I don't believe in proportional cuts. What I do believe in is bringing back youth programs to our parks, bringing back recreation programs, opening up libraries 7 days a week, building more libraries. Those are the kinds of activities that really lead to prevention of crime. So yes, it's important that we build up our fire and police again to what we once believed was important for our city. But without the services that we need for our population, library, youth services, parks, all of the safety net services, services for people with disabilities, we have to do that. So that's what I'm looking forward to as mayor, and I believe I'll build a team that can provide that.
Thank you very much, Bonnie Lowenthal. Steve Mozina.
I think this plays in the vision. Again, what we need here is jobs, jobs, jobs. We need to help current business owners. We need to help future business owners, and we need to create jobs in any way we can. And proportional cuts, look, you know, that if we had to do it that way, we had to do that. Bob Foster built a great thing, so now what we need to do is go to the limit. We need to have that vision. We need to create a medical corridor like we talked about. We need to bring commerce in here because everything like that creates jobs. You know, my dad said something, nothing happens until somebody sells something. Nothing happens unless somebody has a job. Let's create jobs. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a business owner. I know how to do it, and I can help you learn how to do it. Do you want to be rich in America? I feel like an infomercial. I can help you do it. So again, vote Steve Mozina for candidate or for mayor of Long Beach, and I'll help you become extremely successful because I know how to do it.
Thank you, Steve Mozina. Doug Otto, before we hear from you, I want to give our candidates a heads up. No one is more shocked than me that we will find ourselves, as I told you before we began the program tonight, with just enough time to come back to each of you for a 1-minute closing statement once we finish answering this question on this round. So I'm very happy to be able to say that. We will keep it to 1 minute, and you guys have done a terrific job. That's why we have the time. When we do that, Damon Dunn will begin with you. Doug Otto, please.
So does this mean I can begin these remarks with the words "in the beginning"? Is that?
Fortunately, I didn't even hear all of that, and I'm probably glad.
Don't count that against my time. Harry, that's not a fair question.
Don't worry, you've got 1 minute.
It's not a fair question because I don't think what the city did was just cut proportionally. I think they looked carefully at what needed to be done. And I agree with Damon, I agree with Robert, I agree with Bonnie that we shouldn't go back and take a one-size-fits-all approach to what it is that we're going to do. Things are going to change in Long Beach in the near future. We hope that it's sustained. We don't know that it's going to be, but public safety is job one. We have lost 20% of our police force since 2009, and those jobs need to be restored. I also agree that we need to do other things, and law enforcement and public safety isn't just the police, but it's very important to do job one, which is public safety.
All right. Thank you very much, Doug Otto. And having completed the round of questions, we're going to get the microphone back over to Damon Dunn and begin that round of closing statements, 1 minute from each one of our candidates. Damon Dunn.
It's time for Long Beach to move forward. I know that sometimes it's nice and feels safe to reach back and to find leadership of the past because it's known to us and it's familiar. But in the future is innovation. In the future is new, vigorous leadership. We have to move forward. I think Wayne Gretzky put it better than I can. He said, I don't skate to where the puck has been. I skate to where the puck is going. In Long Beach, in order to win our future, we're going to have to skate to where the puck is going. And I can tell you this, that if we are moving forward, then I can help us win our future. If we can't run to it, we'll walk. If we can't walk, then we'll crawl. That if we don't have a shovel, we'll dig ourselves there with a spoon. And if not a spoon, we have to be committed to digging ourselves there with our hands because that's the intensity and that is the type of motivation that we're going to need and visionary leadership that we need to move Long Beach forward. Let's move forward.
Thank you, Damon Dunn. Robert Garcia, your closing statement.
Thank you. I'm running for mayor because I love Long Beach. I believe in the city's potential. This is an incredibly great place. And I always say that for me personally, the best day of my life was the day I became an American. And that process of becoming a U.S. citizen taught me values of giving back, of hard work, of loving your country, and of loving your community. I strongly believe that everybody up here loves our city and they love their community. I believe that our best days of the city are ahead of us. This election is about the future. It's about a stronger economy. It's about a safer city. It's about giving more opportunities for youth. It's about ensuring that people have good wages and good jobs. It's about making sure that our libraries are open. It's ensuring that we're investing in infrastructure. Our best days as a city are certainly ahead of us. I think all of us believe that. I want to thank you again. My name is Robert Garcia, Vice Mayor of Long Beach, and I'm running for mayor.
Thank you, Robert Garcia. Bonnie Lowenthal, your closing statement.
Thank you. I have a lifetime of experience working in every neighborhood in Long Beach, from North Long Beach, Houghton Park, Carmelitos, to Cesar Chavez Park and downtown, to Silverado Park over on the west side, El Dorado Park on the east side. I have worked in every segment of this city, and I'm familiar with the people, and I'm familiar with the needs. We need to improve our public safety, bring back police and fire. We need more neighborhood services. We've got to fix those roads, those potholes, the sidewalks. Everybody knows that. And most of all, we need to bring jobs to our city. We need to bring good businesses to our city. The better we do with business, the more services we'll have. My name is Bonnie Lowenthal. I look forward to your support for mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Bonnie Lowenthal. Steve Mozina, your turn.
Again, my name is Steve Mozina, candidate for mayor of Long Beach. I care about you. More importantly, I care about your kids. I absolutely, positively will create leaders, entrepreneurs, and innovators of your children, basically going on top of the program that Bob Foster did with the ACE program and creating the K through 12 with junior achievement. You will see some innovative things that you've never seen before. I'll put videos on my website so you can see it. Check out Post the Finances too. I absolutely care about you. Okay? We have career politicians here. We have rich people here. But you know who's the most important? You are. And I guarantee you that I have the passion, I have the fight and the will to help you have a better life. It's not about me. It's not about them. It's about you. And I absolutely hope that you vote for me, because this will make not only you, but the city of Long Beach a wonderful place.
Thank you, Steve Mozina. Doug Otto, your closing statement.
Thanks very much. I'm a lifelong Long Beach resident. I have a good job. I'm an attorney. I have my own pension. I am not a politician. I don't want to go to Sacramento. I don't want to go to Washington, D.C. I just want to continue the work that I've been doing in Long Beach for 30 years, making it a better place to live. I've developed an 11-step plan for Long Beach as a 21st century city that's on my website, Doug Otto for Long Beach. I invite all of you to go look at it, study it, read it, comment on it, get back to me, because I think that's the vision that we've talked about. I think that that's the commitment that we've talked about. I think that it's what it is that we need to do, and I invite you to try that. I want to be your mayor. I'm Doug Otto for mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Doug Otto. Jonna Shields.
I am committed to transforming Long Beach into the easiest place to get a business going. We do not have that reputation. There are many horror stories out there. But the first place I would start is that City Hall be able to convey the idea that we are here to help you get going. We're here to help you fulfill your dream. There are many, many empty storefronts, and there are entrepreneurs and lower income people, those with less education, that would very much like to start a business and make it profitable. And as City Hall becomes much more consumer friendly, those storefronts will be filled up and the businesses will be there. And the owners of those businesses will live in Long Beach, which means that as the money cycles through, it earns more revenue. So I am committed to changing red tape to red carpet for businesses.
Thank you, Jonna Shields. And with the last word, excuse me, folks, that's okay. We've already got a microphone down here. We borrowed it from the panelists. So we will now go for the very last word from our candidates to Richard Camp.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for the opportunity. Excuse me. Fundamentally, I believe that Long Beach is a grand family, and we need some good long-term goals. We've sort of suffered from multiple strategic plans, 5 years, 10 years, a lot of them well-intentioned. I think we need to try to put together a vision for the next 50 years. Where do we want to be? How do we see ourselves on the West Coast? What part of the national economy are we? I believe Long Beach can be someday considered the first and best destination in Southern California. We have the potential for surf. I've already floated the idea of attracting a builder and operator for perhaps some snow over near the hill. We would have a microcosm of the Southern California experience. If we exercise some patience, some vision, we might have a permanent track for the Grand Prix.
And Richard, I'm sorry, I will have to stop you there. That is the close of the statements that we will have time for from our candidates this evening. And I hope that those of you who are here in the studio audience will join me in thanking all of the candidates, not just for being here tonight, but for their dedication to our community. Thank you very much. And our time for this first forum is up, but you, our viewers, still have weeks to learn more about the candidates for mayor of Long Beach, along with all the other men and women who hope to get your vote on April 8th. On behalf of the Long Beach Community Action Partnership and PadNet, I'd like to thank the candidates, our panelists, and our great PadNet production crew that has done a terrific job here this evening. We'd also like to thank you for tuning in. This kind of programming only happens with the support and interest of the community. We're also very grateful to RD&M Design and Marketing for their generous underwriting donation that helped make this program possible. For information about how you can become an underwriter of the Forum Series, please visit the elections page at padnet.tv. One more reminder that this forum will be available as video on demand at padnet.tv and will be replayed on Charter Channel 32 and Verizon Fios Channel 41 through February and March. And then, beginning with the first district forum, the first City Council District Forum, on Wednesday, February 5th, we will go through all of the open City Council seats. And then our final mayoral candidate forum will take place on April 2nd. April 2nd, just 6 days before Long Beach chooses its next mayor. We'll see you at the polls on April 8th. Good night, and thanks for joining us.